Thank you for watching and listening. I just want to talk about female hysteria. When you talk about sexual needs, women are shamed for it, especially in conservative world and conservative people. But somehow we make excuses for men. It's acceptable. I don't know how many times I encountered people and I kept asking, why are there red light district in every country? Why do the government allow it? Why isn't anything done to get rid of it? And their reply is, men have needs, no choice, things like that. And women have needs too. Women are not saint. Women are not innocent all the time. And just to tell you, just to say this, to get it out there, having needs and desire doesn't mean you are impure, doesn't mean you're bad, doesn't mean you're sinning. It's a normal thing to have unless you cross the line, unless it's some things that are taboo, okay? Within boundaries, right? So a lot of these conservative, traditional minded women doesn't mean they have to doesn't mean them wearing sexy clothing means they're liberal. Okay, sometimes those who wear skimpy clothes are far more conservative than people who don't. It's all about the mindset, the conservative and traditional mindset. So they have this thing where men are above, women are below. You always have to listen to men regardless. So here's the reason why the shaming, the shaming others and self shaming, self humiliation, because you have that needs and you think it's impure, is incorrect. The denial goes on and they don't get their needs met because men can easily go and get massages. Women can't do that. They don't have much avenues. So they take it out on people. The frustration will come out as projection, as being controlling to the children, as nagging the children too much, as harassing the service staff, as bullying anyone who's passive, as bullying the colleagues, as bullying single women in the neighborhood, things like that. And I'm telling you this, I've met people of all ages, even grandmothers, 68 years old, women in the 60s, in the 70s, still in that mindset of it's taboo, it's disgusting to want and this to want things like that, to want to have desires and whatnot. And yet they go and take it, their anger out on other women. People who went to dong coming up to me after some time, talk having inserting sexual innuendos in the conversations. Just to say, there was like a 68-year-old cleaning auntie. Uh, I can tell she was actually frustrated. I can tell because of how mean she is, how sarcastic, how passive aggressive, and they always have this type of body language because they're frustrated, right? The frustration has built up for many decades. Because let me tell you this, sometimes even after they're married, after they have children, the husband and wife no longer have any intimacy. So I've met women like that who, after bullying, harassing, manipulating, lying, causing a lot of confusion, gaslighting people, saying, "Oh, my husband haven't touched me for 17 years. Oh, I'm a born again virgin. I'm a sin because I haven't had sex for how many decades," and things like that. You'd be surprised how evil and mean they become because of this. And they start shaming other women is shameless. I remember somebody used the W word to call a woman, and then they use other derogatory terms to call other females and started mocking and making fun of the females because they're not married, they don't have children. And I remember this, the lady from India, the one in her 60s, she literally said, she called one of her acquaintance an incomplete woman because she doesn't have kids and because she's not married. And eventually over time it comes out from their mouth, it's the inner reflection. It comes out from their mouth, what is it they want, what is it they're lacking. She was the one who said she was a born again virgin, her husband hasn't touched her for 3 decades, she haven't had sex for 30 years and things like that. And they take it out on other women and they start getting catty and being mean because they want to relive their life, so they start bullying women half their age. And I noticed a pattern. There's always a pattern. Even the auntie, the mean one, the one that Ishun, that's also part of the cult. When the stepmother decided to sell the house, we had no choice. We got nowhere to live, so we had to live with them for a while. I had to live with them for a while. We had to separate ourselves, right? Some of the family live somewhere else, some, and I had to live with them. And that auntie, I was eating, right, and then she just came up to me. She jumped up and down, jumping up and down, and kept saying, "Moda ada nafsu, moda ada nafsu, moda ada nafsu. Pakcik kau tak boleh lepaskan, tak boleh puaskan aku. Asyik aku je yang kena duduk naik turun. Pakcik kau tu baring je. Itu patutnya tanggungjawab lelaki untuk lepaskan nafsu bini." Apa benda. Basically she was saying, I'm sexually frustrated. I'm sexually frustrated. Your uncle cannot satisfy me. That's his responsibility as a husband, and he only knows how to lie down while I'm the one who have to do all the work. And then she started having that mean look. That's the reason why she became the way she became. She became the way she is because she kept taking her anger out on people because she doesn't have her needs met. And she portrayed herself as a wearing hijab, pure, modest woman. But they're very mean. They are very mean because that's not who they are. They're forcing that image of purity, of piousness, of modesty. They're projecting it out on into the world, but the internal is something else. And it's female hysteria due to sexual frustration, because we live in a society where women from a young age are taught, girls are from a young age are taught to sit properly. If not, the men don't want you, but take care of your body. If not, you don't, a man don't want you. You must learn to take care of your husband. Which also reminds me of why when I was 14 or 15, the three toxic Malay girls kept asking me how often am I going to serve my husband. I'm going to serve a man, because they were raised from a young age to there's a woman's job to take care of the man, the women's job to cater to a man, while meanwhile the women's are not getting the needs met because they have been taught to be manipulative from a young age. So how do they go about in getting what they want? They lie and manipulate and provoke and invoke and everything, causing a lot of confusion, causing a lot of people's mental health deteriorating, stress, because they are not straightforward, because they don't communicate with their partners, with their spouses, to get what they want. Instead they project it on other people. And let me tell you this, to you women out there who are like that, you toxic women out there, you can bully and abuse and harass and manipulate and set people up all you want and take your anger out on people all you want, but you are still going to go through the same thing until you've talked to your spouses. And then I'm sick and tired of them. I know they always slot in sexual innuendos in the conversation. Always. The those frustrated ones. And I remember one of the toxic ex-colleague, who was like that, very cunning, very manipulative. And she came up to me one day and said, "If you haven't tried it with other men, you cannot compare. You cannot compare." I was like, huh? Where's the relevance? Where's the relevance in the conversation? So Karens, to me, Karens are just sexually frustrated, and they're projecting it out on people. It's a female hysteria because they don't get the needs met, because in their mind it's impure, it's nasty to have these thoughts, to have these wants and these desires, instead of communicating with the husband, because sometimes the men use it as to shame you. Oh, you're dirty woman, you're naughty woman, and things like that. And let me tell you this, everybody has their kinks, their needs, their desires and whatnot. As long as it's within boundaries, they should find a way to either satisfy it or learn to let go. It's irritating because I realize all these decades of the lying, the manipulation, the confusion, and I know the bullying and everything, only to find out is because all these women are essentially just horny. They don't get their needs met, and they are not gonna. They open their big fat mouth to spread lies, to spread rumors, to destroy people's relationship, to destroy people's self esteem, to destroy people's family, to destroy relationships and whatnot, to sabotage people. But they cannot open their big fat mouth to tell their spouses, to tell their partners what their wants are, what their needs are, and things like that. Have so many stories to tell. And I realized one thing. I had one day I was just thinking and thinking about it, that they all have the same pattern. At the end of the day, it's simply because somewhere down the line, somebody is sexually frustrated. Somewhere down the line, it's because of some hormonal urges, someone is suffering. And because these women, they have this obsession with purity. Okay, they have this obsession with purity. They at the same time program their children to be like that, and they control the mind control that's their sons, especially those emotionally incestuous one. They see their son as their husbands, as their pseudo husbands, pseudo boyfriends, and then the son turn up becoming a stereotypical misogynistic mommy boy, and turn around treating other women badly because that's how the mother taught him to behave. All because they are sexually frustrated, but the society, the conservative society, have convinced them that it's impure to have, it's not correct, it's sinful and whatnot, and then they do it to other people like that. They take it out on other people. They project it. So if you have a naggy mother, naggy auntie, toxic auntie, or some of whatever it is, know that the main cause is sexual frustration, and they take it out. They have to take it out somehow. Either take it out on you or do things that cause you stress. Is because they have sexual needs that are not met, and in their mind they think it's impure, it's incorrect, it's sinful, it's dirty. So the behavior become like that, become toxic because of that internal battle. And for men out there, please, you can spend so much time surfing the net, playing games and whatnot. Okay, spend some time reading up about the psychology, reading up about the human anatomy, reading up on how to communicate with your wife and things like that. And then have a conversation, have a open communication. Stop with the shaming and humiliating things. Put in effort, because women are unfortunately those conservative one. From a young age, we were taught how to behave, to get a man, how to behave to cater to a man. We are taught from a young age. Women are most of the time raised to serve, to give to a man, and men are raised to just receive. This toxic community, I would say, toxic culture. And you want your wife to stop nagging, put in the effort. Talk to her, and you as a woman, you those cunning ones, those who lie and manipulate instead of getting straight to the point, because not everybody is psychics. Even psychics get it wrong sometimes. Not everybody can read your mind. So communicate with one another and understand that as long as within reason, find a way to pacify it. And bullying women half your age, breaking their self-esteem down, it's not gonna make you less frustrated. It's still gonna be there the next day. And I'm telling you, these women, they're very scary. They start making things up in their head. I tell you, that lady from India, the one that said that she was a born again virgin because her husband hadn't served her, have any relationship with her for that long, for many decades. She told me, I went back home and I think about you. I had a discussion. You should lose your weight. Your body is like this, and that girl's body is she had too much flap. She's so fat. And meanwhile, she herself is not in shape. And all because of what? All because of repressed sexual frustration. Why should anybody suffer? And I'm telling you this, they become very mean. Those who have encountered, especially those who have encountered, you notice the pattern. You can always tell the pattern that these women, they become mean and a bit psychotic, a bit evil and things like that, because they don't have their needs met. And some of them, they're closeted, male or female. When you are not your true authentic self, you project yourself as something you're not, you get mean and evil and frustrated down the line because you don't have your real needs met. Even grandmothers are like that. Okay, as long as they don't learn to let go, as long as they don't learn to just uh, release it in a healthy way. Okay, when they start getting jealous and mean and frustrated and things like that, it's because they don't get to live the life that they want. They're too afraid to live the life that they want. Take it out on people. And when they don't have their needs met, they repress it for so long, it will come out as a guilt tripping while doing the household chores. They'll come out as manipulating the children, come out as manipulating the spouses, manipulating the neighbors, and things like that. Start bullying and everything, regardless of age. It's unfair because through this kind of behavior, you destroy a lot of people's life. You know, some families, because of the bullying and harassing, the person have a lot of trauma, and in the end the family get affected and things like that, and these people don't care. They find it satisfying. They find it satisfying because they are in that demonic frequency due to having their needs unmet. So yeah, if you see your toxic auntie nagging, your toxic mother nagging, your Karen being Karen is horny most of the time. Very small percentage is due to psychopathy, due to sociopath tendencies. But most of the time it's because of the sexual frustration. If you notice that, have you noticed that most of the time? Anyway, it's just a rant. Everybody has their needs, and those who try to shame. Let me just add on something. When I was in secondary school, back then I was considered goody two shoes because I thought I was the type that those are the rules we follow. I went to school to learn. I didn't go to school to find relationships or whatnot. I go to school to learn. That's what I thought. So anyway, this group of toxic Malay boys, they were sexual harassing girls. In hindsight, we didn't know. So one of this guy, and by the way, I can't stand people who are hypocritical. Okay, sometimes we are at fault too. We are not self-aware and things like that. But this guy, he's obese. Okay, maybe slightly obese. But he and his group of honchos, whatever you call them, they like to mock, belittle, harass, mentally abuse, emotionally abuse girls to get the girls to be with them. And this guy, somehow he got my phone number and he started talking about the girl's vagina. And he was saying how my friend's vagina sorry, one of the girls' vagina stinks, and how they are dirty girls because they have needs. They are also horny and things like that. I was so shocked that he dared to tell me that over the phone. And the reason why I realized was because he thought I was too nice. I was a stereotypical submissive woman who won't speak up, until I was like, you don't say things like that about my friend. I don't want to hear that. I don't never like him, blah blah blah. Until I reached that point. That was my fault because I took too long to react. There's a reason why people like him and his group of friends were harassing, mocking, belittling, bullying, and then why he dare to say that over the phone. They shame the women for having needs. And let me how about this? You were the one who manipulate. You were the one who set them up. You were the one who harassed them, who mentally abused, emotionally abused, gaslight, whatever, in order to get your sexual needs met. And then you turn around and shame the girl. So what if she have sexual desires? She's human too. Anyway, so that's the thing. People always try to shame you, humiliate you, especially people who are not genuine and who are conservative. Either way, sometimes those people who are so-called liberal, they will call you, oh, you're such a prude, you're uncool, you never do this, never do that. Bull crap. Insecure people in general will use anything to twist and turn and shame and humiliate you because they feel bad that they are like that and you didn't do the same things they do, so they try to make you feel bad, make you feel uncool. I've encountered those type as well. So it's all about insecurity and sexual frustration, hormones. That's why you have neighbors who are like that. Those crazy female housewife neighbors who are very glued to their husbands, who won't go out of the house unless it's to buy groceries. Who don't have their own social life, who don't have hobbies. Their hobbies is gossiping, spreading rumors, and especially if they see a single woman living in the same apartment block, in the same neighborhood, they take their anger out on you, spreading rumors and use you, paint you as a villain so that they get the attention. Women are not as innocent, you know. Women are not as innocent, and we already live in a patriarchal world. We already live in a misogynistic society. The very least you can do is raise your son properly or treat women with respect. Instead, women are some of the worst enemies of other women, especially if they are those attention seeking type. They want the male attention so bad. So if you encountered anyone like that, the nasty, toxic one of your naggy auntie, naggy mother, you just tell them this, tell this to their face. You're not satisfied in the bedroom. You're not satisfied with your husband. You don't come and take it out on me. Either they be shocked, they will start gaslighting you and calling you rude and inappropriate, because that's the truth. The root core of the problem is they are unhappy. And what causes their unhappiness? Because they don't orgasms. I just want to say things. A nasty, a toxic woman's mouth. Women are able to brainwash their children, brainwash people. If you notice this, right? To a point that some people get unfairly incarcerated, some people die. You look at the Emmett Till case, the one in US. Turned out that the white lady was lying about that black child, and he died. So be discerning. Don't be too quick to believe people because of their gender, because of their where they fall in the society. They're seemingly innocent, seemingly weak, seemingly disadvantaged. Narcissistic people are like that. And women who are sexually frustrated and do not know how to let it go, they become mean and evil somewhere down the line. Because people have ways of dealing, either they take it out on people or they take it out on themselves. If they take it out on themselves, it's probably come out through as OCD, as some kind of quirky behavior, things like that. And another case is people who have gone through sexual abuse. Okay, either they're so turned off by it, or again the internal battle of wanting it, but at the same time still having trauma with their bad experiences, with the traumatic experiences, and they take it out on people. So it's either that, it's either this or that. Either you project it on yourself or you take it out on people. Regardless, have boundaries. Why should you or any other innocent person be suffering, be bearing the brunt of their own frustration, of other people's frustrations? And it's a thing, people will use anything that you're insecure about, anything to shame and humiliate you, as long as you allow it. So discern and set boundaries. Thank you for watching and listening.